I want to hear what you have to say about this. Just common traits we see in successful land investors.
Yeah, I think kind of going off what we just talked about in terms of looking for a reason why not. I think just that like positive, optimistic mindset towards the business model is a huge one. And you combine that with like persistence slash consistency. And those are the traits that I think can win. Like you can learn the skills, the sales skills, the data skills, all of that. But if you're coming in with a positive, like why this is going to work mindset and optimistic mindset towards the business, like that energy is contagious. I see those people who come in like that and just figure it out. Like that's what they do, opposed to so when you're have that optimistic mindset, Dan, and you get that first hurdle because it's going to happen. You're just you find a way through the hurdle, opposed to if you have a pessimistic mindset, that first hurdle might make
You'll
you
shut
quit.
down. Yeah.
Exactly. And you cannot shut down after one hurdle in any business, or you can't be an entrepreneur, go work for someone. So I think that combined with persistency slash consistency is the one and two things that successful people say have.
Yeah, being persistent in good times and bad times is what it really comes down to. And I had something similar, so I put self-confidence. And you obtain self-conf you're not always going to come in with self-confidence or, an abundance of it if you especially if you've never owned a business before, but you can obtain it through small wins by starting the business, by getting your first win, by getting these small wins they build over and over and over again, and then all of a sudden you say, "Oh, I can do it. Everyone else can do it. I can do it too," and you start building that self-confidence. But that's something everyone needs to work on. You have to be self-confidence is something we see over and over again in this business model for successful people. And then the other one I had, Ron, similar to you, is tenacity. I had
Mm.
tenacity and self-confidence as my two. And I think people who come in with that aggression, that consistency, that self-belief, like you put those three things together, you have that grit. And grit has, I think they put grit into like four different attributes, and I don't remember every single one they are, but I think persistence was one of them, into four different attributes with grit. There's four attributes under it. And I think if you come in with those, Ron, between tenacity and self confidence and just believing in yourself, that, in my opinion's the most well rounded and capable person in this business.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that. And like you said, it's pretty similar. We have this. I mean, we see the people who come in and are successful. We see what it took for us to be successful. Like it's not like we're just like cruising. We're trying to grow a team with our business as well. And it's something Daniel and I have never done. Like we've never had 10 employees under us, but now we do. So like putting yourself in those uncomfortable positions, continuing to grow, like having confidence, like Daniel said, in growing the team, growing whatever, like sending 5,000 more mailers, whatever it is, having confidence that you can make it work at the end of the day is, I think it's more valuable than any other skill.
Yeah, and there's things can give and take. Maybe you have a ton of tenacity, but you lack self-confidence. So that tenacity gives you that edge to keep pushing forward even though you're not confident,
Mm.
Ron. And I think if you possess some of these and not you're not going to possess all of these, but you'll build them over time. And I think the person who lacks self-confidence has a great opportunity if they have tenacity and a way to push through that because they're going to come out stronger on the other side instead of it taking 3 to 6 months to be ultra successful in this business model round. Maybe it takes 12 to 18. It just takes a little bit longer of a cycle. They have to push themselves through it, build that self confidence. Because I don't think these things are mandatory necessarily. I think they will come with time. But as long as you stay consistent, you have that tenacity behind you, Ron, I think you'll develop naturally that self confidence without a doubt. It just might be a little bit longer of a cycle. Ron and I are saying right now, if someone joins today, what's the best traits they could possess to be successful in the quickest amount of time and be very, very
Mm.
successful?
You know
We're
what it
not
kind of
talking really the
reminds
long game here.
you know what it kind of reminds me of, and like it all kind of comes together, but it reminds me of like when I being in school and you're not confident going into that test if you didn't do any work, if you didn't study everything. Like self confidence comes with education as well, like education and action. Like if you're constantly educating yourself, like you feel confident with the material, but if you go into that test on exam day, on final exam day, and you did no work through the semester, you didn't study, like your confidence is going to be low. And you could take that same test, but that preparation is what kind of yields that confidence in my mind. And it's the same thing as this, but yeah, action and education is going to help with that self-confidence.
Definitely. I like that point because the confidence comes from the work you put in. You're not going to gain confidence, like Ron said, just from showing up and just having it there necessarily. As always, thank you for joining. Please do us a huge favor and like and subscribe our YouTube channel and share this with a friend. It really means the world to Ron and I, but more importantly, it could help change the life of someone else. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next episode.